Hello, I'm Bill Zujewski, CMO of Axeda Corporation. Our company provides software for connecting machines, for managing machine data, and for implementing Internet of Things and M2M or machine-to-machine solutions and applications. We like to think of our solution as the machine cloud, and our mantra is very simple. It's to take raw machine data and turn it into useful information, to really unlock the value that's in that machine data. Some people think of us as almost middleware for the Internet of Things. Today, I'd like to discuss the business case for investing in M2M or Internet of Things. What are the ROI metrics that you should be looking at to build your business case, and what kind of returns are people seeing from their investments? To start, I've drawn here the Axeda value curve. It's a nice framework that puts the various levels of return and value that people get as they do more and more things with their connected product. Level 1 is where you start, where you're not connected. Level 2, you start to collect the data. Level 3 is where you start to get real return. And really the return from an investment is going to fall, as everyone knows. Let's start with the ROI metrics. Into two buckets: costs and revenue. How can I lower my costs, become more efficient using a connected machine? How could I drive more business, grow sales using a connected machine? So in service, level 3, that's where people typically start, and it's about monitoring remote machines, remotely diagnosing them, and remotely servicing them. There are 3 metrics here that I'm going to call out that are the most valuable to look at. The first one is lowering the repair visits. If you can do something remotely, you won't have to go on site. The second one is being more effective when you get there, increasing your first-time fix rate. If you know exactly what's going on, what spare parts you need, you can show up more ready to service the equipment. And then lastly, the call links into your call center. Again, if you're able to pull log files, pull readings into your dashboard here, you can shorten the lengths of calls, right? These are very tangible black and white metrics that you can look at to come up with your business case. The other one that's a little grayer, but a big driver, is just good service will improve customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction reduces churn, drives word-of-mouth marketing for a good experience that other customers have had, and they'll spread the word, etc. So good service is always good business, right? Again, plenty of metrics here around service. Level 4 gets us into analytics, analyzing the data in some kind of BI environment to get business insights. And really here, the 2 big metrics that I like to look at are service visits. You can lower your service visits if you start getting into predictive maintenance. By predictive maintenance, I mean starting to look at that data for indicators of when things are about to fail before they fail, right? If temperature sensors show something overheating, or exhaust sensors, etc., they're usually early indicators that can trigger a field service out to repair that equipment. But now, instead of doing it every month, every quarter, do it proactively only when you need to by analyzing the data. The other thing we'll see is lower returns. Again, if you can analyze that data to understand what parts have issues, what manufacturing processes have issues, you can kind of improve the quality, improve the product design, and then lower returns. In terms of revenue, this is all going to lead to higher mean time or lower mean time between failures and higher uptime. Right? Obviously, if you're proactively repairing things, you're going to have a higher uptime. Let's go to level 5. Level 5 is about taking that data and integrating it with business systems you already have to get more efficient and more effective in those processes, right? And these can be processes like warranty management. Okay, if you have sensors in your machines and you're able to detect when they're operating in environments that are out of the guidelines that you suggest for your equipment, you can call the customer, warn them, improve the environment. Again, that's a great example. Another one is recalls. Be more effective at how you do recalls. If you can get configuration data into your ERP system, you have a better visibility into what machines need to be recalled and when. In terms of the revenue side here, we're really going to be talking about things like pay-per-use billing. If you can have usage data that you can send that describes, exactly how many times they use the machine, instead of having to buy the equipment, they'll pay as they go, right? A real enabler to getting into the mid-market sometimes, where people won't purchase the equipment, but will maybe lease it or pay as you go for it instead of buying it. The other one that's very common that I see is better effective or more effective management of consumables, which drives the sales of more consumables. If you have visibility into when customers need them, you could more effectively drive those kinds of sales. Okay? And lastly, let's talk about level 6. This is where you put the machine data in the hands of end users. You start to develop smartphone, tablets, web portal applications, and give them the data. And that's going to improve the product experience. Here, the big ROI metrics really fall, again, into the same two buckets. Self-service will reduce the number of calls into the call center, right? Because they'll have the tools and access to the health of machines on their own. Sometimes they can figure it out on their own. But the biggest thing and the biggest driver here is going to be your win ratio, your competitive advantage you can create by having value-added apps that extend your product, right? These smartphone, web portals really differentiate you against your competitors and will increase your market share, right? And in some cases, you may even want to charge for those, and your average selling price will go up. So, bottom line here, these levels give you nice buckets of ROI metrics that fall in each of these, and if you do the math, you'll see that there's quite an opportunity here to get a large return depending on how much of the value propositions you're able to leverage. So hopefully you find that helpful and as a way to kind of frame your projects moving forward. Thanks again, Bill Zujewski here.